Welcome to our channel. We're Jill and Charles, and we're living in a Bigfoot 25 RQ travel trailer while developing our off-grid property in Vermont. You can see our yurt from this bird's eye view, but it's not finished yet, so at this point the Bigfoot is a much more comfortable place to spend the winter. Welcome to our fiberglass snow globe. We've been living in this camper since May of 2022, so almost a year, including the entire winter, although it's not quite over yet, but it probably will be getting close by the time you see this. On our local public radio station, they summed up this winter unusually warm, punctuated by a few destructive storms. Can you talk a little bit about the steps that you took to winterize the trailer?
We built a janky mudroom onto the front of the trailer so we don't have to track our shoes and coats and everything into a small space. That keeps about a 6x6 area in front of our door completely dry, and we're able to hang our coats out there, take our shoes off, come in, not track anything in. So that was the big thing we did to winterize. And then the only other thing really for winterization is we moved our Bigfoot back down the hill so it's close enough to our RV sewer drain that we can hook up directly to it and just drain directly. Whereas in the summertime we were using a macerator pump and pumping our sewage down a 200-foot garden hose down to this same dump.
So he strapped the black water pipe to a board at an angle that it would just drain straight into the sewer line. And he also crawled underneath the trailer to put some foam board insulation.
Skirted it.
Yeah, he skirted it with foam board insulation. From your perspective, what is the hardest thing about camping on our property through the winter?
Probably one of the things I dislike the most is having to use so much propane to heat this trailer. And even then, I mean, it does keep us warm. I mean, we were down to 20 below zero, and we stayed warm. It also helps if it's sunny out. Like today it's cloudy and it's kind of feels cool in here, and especially around these windows. These windows are aluminum framed, so that brings the cold is transmitted through that aluminum, so you can kind of feel the cold dropping down off the windows. When it's really cold, when it was 20 below, we went maybe 2 days on a 30-pound bottle. That's expensive heat. Through most of the winter, if our lows are in the teens and highs upper 20s, lower 30s, we'll go through a 30-pound bottle every 5 or 6 days. Even with a good, well-insulated fiberglass trailer, it's well insulated for a trailer is still maybe 2 inches thick. So it could get very cold in here if you didn't keep the furnace going.
And it's not just because we're off-grid that we use the furnace instead of an electric space heater or even the heat pump that came with our air conditioner, at least when the outdoor temperature is below freezing.
We have to run the furnace at least some when it's cold to keep the lower compartment warm and keep our tanks from freezing, keep water lines from freezing. That's how it's accomplished in a 4-season trailer, is the furnace runs through that compartment.
So the coldest it got this winter was -20 degrees Fahrenheit, which was plenty cold enough. And that was cold enough that we had to crank up the heater more than usual that night.
Yeah, the furnace did go off on a regular basis, even at -20. So it's capable of going even colder.
And that's
It'd be costly, but it's capable of keeping you warm below -20.
And that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
So you're the one who's been hauling water and changing out the propane bottles. So from my perspective, I would say the winter hasn't been very hard, especially with the mudroom. That would easily have been the hardest thing about winter, is coming in and out of the trailer without the mudroom. But I would say that condensation has been kind of tricky to keep up with. And it's been a learning curve to just figure out how to deal with it. We'll get condensation on the windows at night. We'll get condensation occasionally dripping from the vent above the bed. And that's when it's closed. So, one thing that we did was to open up one of the vents, either the bedroom or the bathroom, just a crack. And that has helped a lot.
That's when it's cold enough, even along these frames and everything, it'll freeze. You'll see frost on the frames themselves.
So the tricky part is when it snows, especially if it snows a lot, it can seal in the vents from above. The snow piles up on the roof, and then there's no ventilation going out the ceiling vents. We have monitored our cabinets, and every once in a while we have a little bit of condensation on the far corners of the trailer that get heated the least inside the cabinets.
Far back corner on the other side of the bed.
We lost 2 boxes of pasta.
Front right corner of the trailer, overhead. Up in that corner, we got a little condensation apparently.
It was just like the box that was touching the wall got moisture inside of it. So anything that was in a plastic bag was fine, and any box that was away from the wall was fine. Whenever we shower, we are careful to open up the bathroom vent and turn the fan on. Whenever we cook, we use the fan. Unfortunately, it vents into the mudroom, but that's
it's better than
a little
in here.
bit better than venting into
the mudroom is nowhere near airtight, so that moisture will escape eventually.
We thought it would be more pleasant to cook in the trailer in the wintertime compared to the summer, because we thought we would enjoy having the extra warmth, but the extra moisture comes with it, so we're still not very motivated to cook. One of our bigger challenges in the winter has been the fact that the heating system does not come with any kind of air filter. So the grill under the refrigerator doesn't have a filter in it. So with 2 people and 2 cats living in here all winter, we get recycled lint, cat hair, all of the detritus of daily living gets recycled through the vents and spewed out by the heater. So we are doing an experiment with some filter fabric that we cut to size to see if that can help a little bit. And it's a pretty new experiment, so stay tuned on the details of that.
But this material is also carbon impregnated, which helps with odors too. So I feel like it's, over the last couple of weeks we've had it on there, I think the air quality has improved. One additional thing we should mention is the rock guard will actually be pushed down by snow. Doesn't take a lot of snow or ice, and it gets heavy enough that it'll overcome the gas struts, and you have to go out, clear it off, push it back up.
So what is your overall assessment of this model of trailer for winter camping?
It's better than any trailer I've lived in before, which I've lived in a couple.
Through the winter in Missouri where it got cold.
True. Yeah, I mean, I like this one better.
Overall, I would say that we're happy we chose this camper for the purpose that we did. I mean, we chose a fiberglass 4-season camper with a layout that we would be comfortable living in, knowing that we would be living in it full time for at least a year, and knowing that we would be doing it in a cold climate. So we're very happy with our choice of trailer.
I don't think there's probably too many trailers out there that would do any better.
Oh, look at the beautiful snowflakes behind us.
Really is a snow globe.
So if you have experience with winter camping, we would love to hear your stories in the comments below. And if you have questions for us for future videos, please include those as well.
I know some of you have been asking off and on about the solar panel install that I've been promising, and I still plan to do a video on installing solar panels, and also showing you a wiring diagram of the solar system I put in and some of the modifications I've made, like making the refrigerator automatically go off and on electricity based on battery state of charge. So
that brings me to another thought of something that we did for the winter. We almost put the solar panels on the roof before the winter, and then we thought through the fact that we were staying here and that snow would be one of our biggest challenges. And it's sometimes a little bit tricky to clear them on the ground if there's a whole lot of snow, because there's nowhere to put the snow. But it would have been much more difficult to clear the solar panels and use them if they were on the roof compared to the ground mount.
yeah, it's definitely advantageous having them on the ground right now, but they will go on the roof. And even if we stay the winter, they'll stay on the roof.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you in a future video.